Today we're going to look at a new Blender 5.0 node that makes animations like these finally perfect and usable in animation. Now I have kind of a past when it comes to this effect. The basic idea is metaballs. From a motion graphics and animation standpoint, I find them really limiting. They're cool for a lot of different things, but animations and looping animations and motion graphics, not so much. This animation I made 2 years ago was my first attempt at using them. They make just really cool organic shapes, and I love organic modeling, and this was kind of my best attempt at trying to use them in some way. And then a year and a half later, 6 months ago, geometry nodes allowed me to make this tutorial, and I even stated in the video, hey, it's imperfect, but I really am in love with this effect, and trying to make metaballs and geometry nodes is something that I want to get closer to making perfect. But that tutorial was really heavy, like the geometry was really heavy. But I said I'll come back when it's perfect, and now that Blender has some really cool volume nodes, the effect is finally perfect. So today, I'm going to show you how to use some of these SDF nodes to make metaballs in geometry nodes, how to animate them in geometry nodes, how to fix all of the geometry problems that you're going to get along the way that's going to prevent you from making them look really beautiful when they animate. And at the end, I'm going to show you just a quick setup to make them look cool, because this is very much like a showing you how to do it, but you can walk away with a cool animation as well, and that's what I want to show you at the end. I had some fun this month on Patreon with 4 different tutorials showing you how I approached making these metaballs look really interesting in different styles and different animations. Each of them presented their own interesting take on the metaballs, an interesting way to make them look cool. So if you want to check that out, that is linked in the description, and you can get a discount if you subscribe annually. With that being said, let's make these metaballs. All right, you are going to need Blender 5.0 for this. Right now it's in beta. If you're watching this later, it's probably already general release and you have it. But let's make what metaballs used to be. So first we're going to just get any piece of geometry. I'm going to switch this window over to the geometry nodes editor, click new. And first we're going to get an object that we can turn into a volume. So I'm just going to use an icosphere. Now this object is simply what all of our points are going to exist inside of. So whatever shape you want, you can use. Instead of just using the volume cube, I wanted to show you that you can do this with any object you want. So bring it up, scale it up a little bit. That's really just for for lighting, making these a little bit bigger. And then just make it round or whatever you want. You can keep it as an icosphere. And then mesh to volume. And then what we're going to do is get a distribute points in volume node. Now, up until right now, this is not Blender 5.0 specific. This is general. Now we have some points. Now I want to introduce the node that this entire video is about and why I'm just so excited about it. We're going to do a Points To SDF Grid. Now that is going to sever the tie here because this grid output is not compatible here. So we need to convert it back to geometry. So we're going to do a grid to mesh node, and that is going to convert it back to geometry, creating this. And now you can see they're all kind of morphing together. Your voxel size is going to be how high poly it is. If you bring it to the left, it's going to subdivide it. If you bring it to the right, it's going to unsubdivide it. That is how we get things to look good. Now there's a couple things I want to do. First, let me just go ahead and get them to be animated so I can show you some of the problems that we're going to have. So we're going to get a set position. We're going to get a noise texture. And then I'm just going to pull in this guy, let go, and vector math scale is what I'm looking for. Or you can just look up vector math and switch it to scale, just like that. And then plug that into the offset. I'm going to uncheck normalize, go to 4D, and bring my detail to 0. So now we have this guy, and the scale is going to strengthen how much they move, and they're going to look crazy. So a couple things that we're going to encounter. You'll notice kind of this like circular geometry, and when we move it around, that circular geometry kind of warbles around. If I were to put a glass material on this, it would be way more obvious. And then obviously you can see these connections are low poly as well. Now, a couple things we can do. We're going to fix that with 2 nodes, but first we're going to get a set shade smooth node just to make sure even after all the fixes that we do, everything is perfectly smooth. So again, we're going to have 2 problems. These kind of spherical volume SDF kind of fragments. And then the biggest problem that was imperfect in the last video is these connections here, when they morph in and out, they just are ugly and warbly and all of that. And already this is a lot lighter than the last process. But what we're going to do is get in a smooth geometry. And this node is actually not really a 5.0 feature. If I double click it, it's a position with a blur attribute. So they just made it easy for us in a group node. I'm going to give it a couple iteration. That's going to make it more globby. And then you can counteract that with higher voxel size. I'm going to do 0.002. That's going to be my final subdivision. There it is. It's really, really nice looking. And then we're still going to have that kind of circular mess, even if we make it really high poly. So what we need to do is get a set mesh normal node. We're going to go from sharpness to free. We're going to get a normal node and a blur attribute node set to vector. And then we're going to plug that into our custom normal and give it iterations of 30. And that's going to fix everything. Now, you might go, nothing's new here. I'll tell you why it's new. Obviously, these are new. I would understand if you said that. What these two nodes made easier and far less kind of computer intensive was right after the set position, or like right after the distribute points and volume, the old trick was taking the points and instancing like an icosphere on those points, and then realizing those instances, converting those now icospheres to a volume, converting them back to geometry. Now they morph into each other. If you look at that old tutorial I referenced in the beginning of this video, that's what I did. So it's just more nodes, more things for your computer to deal with, and it does get really high poly. Now this still gets high poly at the end because you want your voxel size to be kind of perfect and as high poly as your computer can handle. But even as you are working, it's much smoother, especially with these two fixes with the smooth geometry and the set mesh normal, which are not 5.0 specific. You've been able to do this forever. It's just more blur attribute mess. But now everything is perfect and you can animate it around. What I want to do is I'm gonna get my voxel size to 0.04 for now so I can kind of play with it in real time. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my density down. I don't want this many points because now we're done. Now we can move on to just kind of making this look cool. You can make the radius of your points bigger. And now we'll have this. Let's go ahead and just make it look cool and we can finish up. So I'm just gonna make this smaller. I'm gonna hit the tilde key and go to the front, get a camera. I'm gonna hit G and middle click, bring it out. I'm gonna bring it up pretty far because what I like to do in my camera is get a focal length of 100. Makes things look really nice and flat. So what we need to do is get two planes. So let's go get a plane, hit RX 90. I'm gonna bring it back to right about here. And then I'm going to scale it to fit my camera and then just sort of scale it here, Control A, apply scale. And then we're going to get one more and scale it up really big. Both of these are going to be lights. They're going to be the only lights that we need in this scene, but they're going to be mesh lights. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go over here, make sure we are in cycles. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and add a glass material first. So let's bring this back over. Click on this guy. We'll get a set material right over here. Just go ahead, get like the tiniest bit of roughness. I've found for like realism's sake, don't make a roughness of 0. That's just insane, but just a tiny bit of roughness. And then we're going to go here to transmission, bring it all the way up. And then we'll go ahead and grab that material. So now we have glass, and I'll just bring this guy back over here. So now we have glass, and actually bring the window back. And we're going to switch this from geometry nodes to the shader editor. I'm going to click new, and then delete the principled, get a emission node, plug it here, and already looks really cool. I'm gonna hit this back plane right there. I'm gonna click him. I'm gonna hit the drop down and get that same material, but I wanna click the smaller plane, that one, and then right here where it says number 2, just click that. We're gonna get a duplicate material, and I am just gonna get a render region, not required. So click on the smaller plane. We're going to get a color ramp. We're going to go ahead and get a gradient texture. And then I'm going to hit Control T if you have the Node Wrangler add-on enabled, or just get a mapping and a texture coordinate and put the object into the vector. Plug this here. And then we are going to rotate it by -90 on the Z. We're going to switch this color ramp from linear to B-spline and bring this node to the direct middle. And then we are just going to stretch this gradient out till it just looks nice. This is just a visual component that's meant to kind of have some fun with the way that this glass looks. Now, what I'm gonna do is I wanna show you what this plane in the background does. If I hide it, that's what happens. Also, we need to get our world brightness to black. So if I hide the plane, this is what our glass looks like. Still looks cool. I prefer that. It just kind of gives the glass a little bit more light. And now we are totally done. And you can add some color too. So say, I don't know, make it like a nice minty green like that. And you can hit Control C, click on that bottom plane, Control V. And then now we have a really, really nice looking scene that if you go, so if you go back to geometry nodes and play with the W of your noise texture, you can animate around these new metaballs and they morph into each other and they look really nice. But finally, this is, in my opinion, like finally ready to be used for really cool ideas. Again, I showcased 4 ideas on my Patreon. So there's a lot of really cool things you can do with this. And I just think it's just so satisfying to play with. So you can play with the glass, you can make it subsurface, you can put things inside of it. They're points, so you can instance anything inside of them on their own individual points. So just a lot of things. I am just kind of nerdy about this. This might mean nothing to you. You might think this is dumb. I don't think it's dumb. I think it's cool. But there's a lot of control here. Again, if you want to make it like less spherical, so say like, okay, I want my voxel size in my final animation, I'm gonna set it to 2. Oh, those look too much like spheres. I want them to still look like a little more globby. Then you would just go to the smooth geometry and give it like iterations of 100 or I don't know, 200 or even more. And now they're a little more goopy and gloopy. So there's control that you can add. This is your wireframe. It's kind of very high poly, but as a final, it's going to look really, really cool. But I'm gonna stop yapping. Have some fun with this. I will be releasing this tutorial next week. So if you want to figure out how to do glass dispersion, that tutorial is available on Patreon now. It will be available on YouTube next week. I think a week from today. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Have fun with this, and I'll see you in the next one.